It's hard to believe that just a few decades ago, signs declaring no blacks, no dogs, no Irish were used to discriminate against potential property tenants here in the capital. 50 years of race relations and equality laws are supposed to have done away with all that. But tonight, in an undercover investigation, Inside Out exposes the letting agents prepared to select tenants for their landlords on the basis of the colour of their skin. Guy Lynn has this exclusive report.
From above, you'd never know it was happening. But something is going very wrong in parts of London's letting market.
99% of my landlords don't want Afro-Caribbean.
45 years after the UK first banned discrimination in housing.
I felt, why should he discriminate me for not having a place because of the colour of my skin?
Tonight we expose the letting agents willing to turn away tenants on behalf of landlords.
So if they're Afro-Caribbean, they won't be allowed to come and view the property because it's a waste of time. It's a waste of their time, it's a waste of our time.
They're absolutely disgraceful, they are unlawful, and they need driving out.
Jumji and Wayne have both found a flat now, but it was a struggle. What got in the way was something many thought you'd never see in London 2013. Letting agents preventing them seeing flats for no other reason, they say, other than their colour.
You ask why and why is it still in the window, they'll make up any reason. They'll say, oh yeah, it's because it's gone, someone's taken it, but then it's still advertised in the windows.
You get treated a certain way or told certain things, and then you see that a different reaction to other customers. That's when you start to realise, oh, maybe there's something different going on here, you know.
And their experience is mirrored by others. A survey by anti-racism charity the Runnymede Trust, seen by BBC London, suggests more than 25% of black people they asked feel they've been discriminated against in private housing. But the problem with proving this kind of discrimination is that it can leave virtually no trace. Even if you thought it was going on, you'd struggle to say for sure. But lawyers, landlords, letting agents had all told us that it was happening, and that in certain parts of London it was rife. We've got Dean and Joe on board. As far as a landlord's concerned, the only difference between them is their colour and ethnic background. We've discovered numerous agents who say they're prepared to select tenants by race on behalf of landlords. And Dean and Joe are going to put it to the test by trying to get a viewing. So this is a flat we're going to put on the market. It's got 3 bedrooms, up-to-date appliances and a great London location. The only thing it needs now is a tenant. We're undercover and have invited agents to give us a market assessment.
How much do you think I can get for it?
Around £650 a week.
Not just from any agencies, but from 10 who've already told us they're prepared to discriminate for a landlord.
I just wanted to know if it's possible to specify no sort of Afro-Caribbean blacks or anything like that.
We can't do that. We cannot be shown discriminating against the community. But obviously we got our ways around that. You don't have to tell us that because we, you know, like yourself, 99% of my landlords don't want Afro-Caribbeans or any troublesome people.
Afro-Caribbeans, yeah, you did mention the fan. Yeah, that's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with saying that, yeah.
Without openly advertising it that, you know, no Afro-Caribbeans allowed, we would obviously, you know, understand that it's not available.
It's quite shocking, really. I think these are individuals, agents who know what they're doing, who know that what they're doing is wrong, who know that they are breaching the law. Equally, they know how to get around it.
Yeah, that's fine, that's not a problem.
And just listen to how they say they'll get around it.
We don't say to them no there and then, but we say, okay, we're going to have to come back to you, and then we don't call them back.
When somebody comes in, they won't basically advise them of this property being available, and even if it does get, then they say, oh, somebody's taken it. We'll have to make up an excuse, to be honest with you.
We can always make excuse. One of my colleagues has taken the property on the viewing. It's under offer at the moment. You know, we're just waiting for someone's references to come back.
We asked these agents why they were prepared to break the law. We got no response. In the 1940s and 50s, black people faced open discrimination and hostility. Waves of immigrants arrived from the Caribbean, and Britain saw some of its worst race riots in Notting Hill. Discrimination was blatant in housing. Signs on doors stopping black people from renting flats. The Race Relations Act of 1968 banned this kind of discrimination. 45 years later, we've discovered it's still there, but under the radar. So what was staggering was the sheer number of agents who said they'd be prepared to discriminate. The big question, would they now be prepared to do it in practice? We've put the flat up for rent now with 2 agents, £450 a week. And you're about to see what happens when Dean and Joe both try to get a viewing on our property. First, Joe tries national estate agents in Willesden.
I see a range of viewing for a property.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Tuesday's fine, yeah.
Are you out to meet us at the property?
That's perfect, yeah, that's better.
So Joe has got a viewing. Now it's Dean's turn. Remember, same property, definitely still available.
I saw an advert for one of your properties in Ladbroke Grove.
I'm afraid that's already gone.
It's already gone? Yeah. Do you know if there's going to be any viewings at all? Anything happening at all in the future?
No, it's already gone.
It's just gone?
Yeah.
All right then.
I felt, why should he discriminate me for not having a place because of the colour of my skin? And then, you know, I left there angry.
The next agent, A to Z, Dean's in first.
I'll give you a ring on Monday.
So he promises a call on Monday. But surprise, surprise, no call. Remember this?
We don't say to them no there and then, but we say, okay, we're going to have to come back to you, and then we don't call them back.
And then he's fobbed off again.
I haven't got confirmation. Once I do,
okay.
I'll put your details.
Yeah, you got it, yeah.
But when Joe tries the next morning, it couldn't be more different.
What sort of time you want to do on Wednesday?
What have you got?
I've got a 5 o'clock there. What sort of time you want to do on Wednesday?
We showed the footage to Tinchy Strider, a Brit Award-winning pop artist who's worked hard to battle discrimination.
I'm still here trying to think, did I really see that? Like, and they seem so okay about it. Like, they don't feel like they're doing anything wrong. That's what I'm confused about.
So was that the most shocking thing? Almost like the
casual with
casual
it. Yeah, like, yeah. That's what I'm in shock. I'm thinking it's not, they wasn't saying as if they was trying to hide it. It was just like, yeah, this is where it is. It's like, the point of it, how do I know that? Or maybe I didn't want to see somewhere where they're like, okay, what's his background now? He can't view this.
And does it all mean the law isn't working? Don Foster was a housing minister till last week.
I was horrified. Racism, discrimination has no place in London. We've got firm legislation against it. I think the difficulty is, in some cases, there'll be a situation where somebody is refused a viewing, as you should, but wouldn't know themselves that they had been the victim of a racist incident.
We go back to the agents who've marketed our property to try to get some answers.
Silent from the BBC. Can I just ask you if you're aware that it's against the law to agree not to show people a flat because they're Afro-Caribbean?
Yes, it's against the law, but it's something that you requested.
So you'll agree to do anything, basically?
I don't say I would agree.
But it is against the law, you're aware of that?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, we've got plenty of, I can show you all our files here, we've got plenty of Afro-Caribbean.
Okay.
This one refused to open the doors when he saw us arrive.
Excuse me, can I ask you a question, please? Could you come and talk to us, please? Are you aware it's against the law to agree not to show someone a flat because they're Afro-Caribbean? He doesn't appear to. He's now gone through the door, not prepared to answer any questions.
The consequences for society is that this kind of behaviour takes us back 40, 50 years. If you have every agent in an area thinking that this is normal and accepted practice, then this is going to have a direct impact on the community. That is fundamentally unfair, and that feels like we've gone back in time.
The impunity with which letting agents can get away with this under the radar raises worrying questions. Just 2 investigations by the Property Ombudsman as a result of complaints in the last 3 years, not one upheld. No investigations by the Equality and Human Rights Commission. We've shown how subtle discrimination in London's housing market in 2013 actually is. And most worrying of all, If we found this in parts of West London, where else?